Hello everyone and welcome to the world of photography. Today not with a big and heavy camera, but the camera that most people could carry with them in a smartphone. For this, let's take a look at the Sony Xperia PRO-I. You can't wait to see what's inside. I was amazed when I held the phone in my hand for the first time. With only 211 grams for a smartphone with a 6.5-inch 4K HDR OLED display, great work has basically already been done. Besides that, the 211 grams also includes the 4500 mAh battery. The Xperia PRO-I proves wrong. With other manufacturers led us to believe impossible to install a 3.5mm jack in such a flat form factor. In addition, IPX5, IPX8 and IPX6, we have an enormously stable frame. Not only you can shoot your movies in 4K, but you can also marvel at them on a 4K display at 120 Hz. All through, the whole thing does drag on the battery. It only does so during constant interactions and you don't have an annoying notch. Inside is a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor with 5G. Not only gaming nerds will have fun with it, but also filmmakers, movie watchers, and of course everyone who likes to surf a lot. Websites load even without delay and videos via YouTube, and Rumble Stream runs super fast and smooth. The 21:9 OLED display is ideal for reading even in the dark thanks to the night light function. For my taste, the display is bright enough to read in the sun during the day, but is also still too dark when you hold the smartphone in a slight angle. But now to the actual reason for this review, the camera, or rather cameras. The rear cameras feature with ZEISS Tessar optics adapted for Xperia PRO-I with a variable aperture to control the depth of field. Hidden under this lens is a 1-inch type Exmor RS CMOS sensor. It is claimed on various platforms that it would not be a 1-inch sensor. But this claim is false. Although we cannot read the 20 megapixels of the 1-inch sensor due to the flat design, we are in a normal range of common smartphones with the 12 megapixels. We will take a closer look at why the 12 megapixels are an advantage later. Besides the video light on the back, we also find a 50mm lens for portrait shoots with a 2.4 aperture and a 16mm ultra-wide angle lens with a 2.2 aperture for a whole 124 degrees image coverage. The front-facing camera is hidden in the upper screen segment. You can take nice selfies in photo mode, but the video mode clearly crops too close into the video. It is ideal for macro shots, but not enough for vlogs. Speaking about vlogs, for this you can use the vlog monitor, including Bluetooth stick from Sony, and thus the 24mm rear camera with its 2.0 aperture for blurred backgrounds, with the camera that you always have with you, your smartphone. I made the mistake of assuming that I wouldn't be able to connect an external microphone, but Sony impresses with an additional 3.5mm jack on the monitor itself and, of course, on the smartphone. Now back to the front camera. Some of you may know, but in fact I am often asked, how to pause a video. Well, you could do that with your old camcorders with a cassette without any problems, but until now I haven't had a smartphone in my hand that can do that. At least not until now. But you can actually pause video recording, for example, to keep your video as compact as possible, for instance for TikTok and Instagram.
What I really like about the Sony Xperia PRO-I is that you can pause it if you want and press continue. So it is perfect for using for social media like TikTok, for example, or Instagram.
Something I like about this phone is that you can adjust the white balance once you film yourself, or even the brightness level. But something I don't like is that it crops in quite a lot and there is no option to film myself in 4K using the front camera. The camera menu, which is very similar to other Sony cameras, allows you to set the face and eye autofocus, grid lines, and many other things beside a soft skin effect. Note that the front camera is only available on basic mode. Using more on the camera's menu, you can shoot a panorama, portrait, selfie, and a slow motion. The 360-degree panorama photos are ultra sharp and they are worth seeing. The tracking is particularly impressive. I was sitting in the car next to my girlfriend in the evening, and despite the low light, the face tracking kicked in. Absolutely fascinating for a phone. The whole thing worked enormously well in video mode despite the darkness. In daylight, in photo mode, you can track your models and other activities at 20 frames per second. Attention, the whole thing did not work in RAW. If you value RAW shots more than a series of shots, well, then you have to go back to 1 frame per second basically. In any case, an impressive performance for such a small device that you always have with you. In video mode, you have all the settings you'll find on the RX models. Whether you need various looks or full manual control with aperture, ISO, shutter speed or white balance. Filmmakers will get their money's worth with the Sony Xperia PRO-I. Tracking worked impressively well in video mode and faces are recognized quickly both during day and night. What disappoints me, however, were 2 points. Where is the 50 frames per second? And where is the time-lapse function? Why does the image stabilizer stops at 30 frames per second and does not work with 60 frames per second? This is something that should be improved. Otherwise, you can use the full sensor size for vlogging via the vlog monitor and the Bluetooth handle, and don't have to do it without an external microphone. You know it, the smartphone takes such impressive photos during the day, but it fails at night. The image sensor, which is usually much too small with an overgrowth of megapixels, makes the photo look more like an ISO rain shower at night. But not with the Sony Xperia PRO-I. Full manual control ensures the right shots even on vacation without a big camera. The best thing is to briefly familiarize yourself with the interaction of ISO, shutter speed and the aperture. Have a tripod with you and nothing will stand in your way when it comes to night photography. So let's come to a conclusion. Those of you who have been with Sony for a long time will quickly get adapted with the Sony Xperia PRO-I. The ideal complement to the Sony RX series. If you travel a lot and are annoyed by all the big cameras, but don't want to compromise on image or video quality, this is a great solution for your pocket. Finally, a large image sensor for shooting in the dark with full manual control. Various hard drives can be connected using USB-C to store large amounts of files, and 5G ensures that fast exchange of pictures, photos and documents at work. You might think that this could be a perfect smartphone if there weren't these few essentials missing, such as a time-lapse function, which of course can be compensated using other apps, or the 50 frames per second, as well as the missing image stabilizer starting from 60 frames per second. Because if you're willing to spend more for a mobile phone, you will have other demands. Do you own the smartphone? Where do you use it? I'm curious to hear about your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment below. Apart from that, make sure to follow me on Instagram and hit that subscribe button. All the best from Frankfurt am Main. See you very soon und bis bald. Ciao.